objectively speaking, the most productive thing you can do with money if you're a rich person is to just hand it to a poor person. Find a poor person and just give them money. That objectively is the most productive way to use your money in the sense of like getting things done. In the sense of actually making a positive outcome in the economy and in society. Just give it to a poor person. And there's good reason too, because you give it to a poor person, they're gonna buy necessities. They're gonna buy food, they're gonna buy healthcare, they're gonna pay the rent, and so then that money just rolls back into the economy for people to get necessities. And so in terms of dollars spent and benefits gained, just give it to a poor person. You maximize the benefits gained per dollar spent. Rich people never do that. Well, some people do. Bill Gates does that, kind of. Bill Gates decided that he's too much money and is just giving his money away. The Gates Foundation. Most rich people don't do that. And so they just waste their money on pointless things. And nobody has the balls to tell them they're stupid. I mean, I do. Nobody has the balls to tell rich people that they're stupid. I'm getting worked up. I'm becoming more and more animated. You're not that rich, Cody. Or are you? Are you that rich? Yeah, no, you're poor. You're not stupid. I mean, I just wanna smack them in the head, cause most of the time, they just think, how can I get more money? I just wanna smack them. You have too much money already. You are already so inefficient with your money. I can't deal with it. It's like a person with diabetes asking, where can I get more candy? It's so stupid. Anyway, the experiment has to be done apparently, and so there's a giant tax cut for rich people in the United States, which will possibly destroy the American economy. But apparently people can't avoid the hole, so they're gonna step into it. There are some people who know, right? I mean, every now and then, like you look at the, like Bloomberg TV or, you know, rich people media, every now and then somebody just says it. They'll say like, oh, what are you gonna invest in this year? What's the next big investment? And eventually, like every now and then one of them just says, you know, we should just increase taxes and give money to poor people. and like every time it happens, they're all surprised, and then they go back to doing the same old crap. And people, they say that because they know, the smart ones, the smart rich people, they know that the economy only functions if people have money to spend, right? Look, if you're a billionaire investor, say, You have a bunch of money invested in Apple, for example. How are you going to get your money? Oh, this is the wrong way. How are you going to get your money from your Apple shares? You need people to buy iPhones and Apple Watches and whatever it is that they sell these days. That's how you're going to make money from your investment, is if people buy iPhones. How are people going to buy iPhones? If you give them money to buy iPhones. Here's the thing. If you, let's say you have, yeah, you're the wrong demographic, Cody. I'm just, for example, imagine there are two companies who make smartphones. One of them is good at making smartphones and have popular smartphones. The other one is bad at making smartphones. And nobody likes their smartphones. What happens if you give people a lot of money is that everyone is going to buy the good smartphones. And then the shareholders of that company will get most of that money. Right? Because people buy, like people, when you give people money, they go and spend the money and they buy stuff. So what I'm trying to say is, if you're an investor and you have money invested in all these companies, the way you make money from your investment is if a lot of people have money to spend. So actually, you make more money from higher taxes on yourself and giving that money to poor people. And especially if you're a smart investor and you're investing in companies that are going to be successful, then what you want to do is you want to tax everybody more, which means you take more money from the bad business people and you take more money from the good business people, and then you give them to consumers. The consumers go spend their money, but they spend more money at the good businesses and not at the bad businesses, and then your investments are in the good businesses, and therefore you end up getting a bigger share of the money back because you're a smart investor and you don't invest in the bad companies. Does that make sense, Cody? Are you keeping track of what I'm trying to say? I mean, that's capitalism. Capitalism is people deciding where to spend their money. Economics! Capitalism! Yeah! Okay, what is something you like and something you don't like, Cody? Let's go for an example. What is something that you want to spend money on and something that you really don't want to spend money on? Food, alright, you want to spend money on food. You don't want to spend money on people. Okay, right. So imagine there's a food company and there's a people company, right? There's a food company and there's a people company. Now imagine we raise taxes on both companies. So we take $10 from the food company and we take $10 from the people company and we give you $20. What are you gonna do with the $20? You spend $20 on food. So then the food company loses $10, gains $20. The people company loses $10 and gains nothing. Oh, you like the internet? Okay, well, Cody, no, we're doing the. Okay, I agree. Net neutrality is important. Do we change the? All right, let's just change the example. Let's say there are two internet service providers. One of them believes in net neutrality and one of them does not. Cody, I'm trying to explain economics to you. What are you talking about? Charge for what? No, just imagine there are two internet service providers. One of them believes in net neutrality and one of them doesn't. We tax both of them an extra $10 each. And then we give you $20 to spend. What are you gonna do? You take your $20 and you buy your internet from the company that believes in net neutrality. So that the company that believes in net neutrality loses $10 in taxes and gains $20 in your business. Whereas the company that does not believe in net neutrality loses $10 in taxes and gains nothing. So, if I was smart, I would invest in the company that believes in net neutrality because I think it'll be successful. So then you tax them, give the money to you, you buy their services, I get a cut of the profits at the end of it. And so then what happens then is that we will kill the company that does not believe in net neutrality. And the company that believes in net neutrality will get more business by taxing them both and letting you decide where to spend your money. So you see how that works? So when we tax the rich to give money to the poor, what happens is that the rich people who are good at business will make more money, whereas the rich people who are bad at business will lose money in the end. And all the poor people get to buy stuff along the way. It's not really a distribution of wealth from the rich to the poor. Because in the end, the poor people will spend the money on the stuff that they need or they want. And the money goes back to the corporations. Except that they get to choose which corporation they want to spend their money on. And that's how the economy works. So when you give tax cuts to corporations, and then you don't give money to the poor people, you cut benefits, you cut taxes, cut benefits, what happens then is the businesses don't have to compete anymore. They can keep more of their money without having to do better business. So then the ISP who does not believe in net neutrality don't lose any money from being that way. And the ISP who believes in net neutrality don't gain any money from being that way. And so the competition is less meaningful because there's less money to compete over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so if you are a rich person who is really good at making money, for example, if you're Steve Jobs, right, and you just know what people want to buy, you should want increased taxes on rich people and lower and more benefits for poor people, because that money will eventually cycle back around to you because you're the one making the iPhones that everybody wants. If you're the guy making things that nobody wants and you're going to lose money, then you would hate that because you get taxed, the money goes to consumers, the consumers don't buy your stuff, and so then their money goes to your competitors. So if you're the kind of business person who runs a really successful business, or who has the potential to run a really successful business, you actually want higher taxes and more welfare. Because the effect of it is it taxes your competitors to give to consumers, and then the consumers give the money to you for your products. So it cycles money away from your competitors to your pocket if you are a good business person. Isn't that great? So if you're Google, if you're Apple, if you're Tesla, if you're any of these companies that, you know, sell products that are really in demand, you want more welfare and more taxes. You don't really want tax cuts. I mean, if you ask for tax cuts, you're basically like so short-sighted and have such a poor understanding of the economy that you're gonna hobble your own business thinking it'll make you rich. Should I? Tax don't bother you too much. Well, the thing is, if you don't have that much money, you don't get taxed that much anyway. Tax doesn't bother me either, to be honest. I wonder if I should try to explain that to more people more clearly. Like, why rich people should hate tax cuts. Like, why only stupid people want tax cuts for the rich? Like, smart rich people should not want tax cuts. So the people who really want tax cuts, especially cuts to the estate tax, are basically the heirs, right? The sons and daughters of rich people who themselves don't really have much ability, but they inherit a lot of money. Those people love tax cuts. So they can keep more of what they didn't earn. If you earn your money, I mean, look, if we institute perfect communism right now, if we took all the money away from everyone, divided it evenly, and gave everybody the same share, who do you think will be the richest people in the world tomorrow? Or like maybe a year from now, who will be the richest people in the world? I suppose some Hollywood people. I suppose Apple will still be really successful. Maybe you know, like what? I mean, I guess the question I'm trying to ask is, what do you think people would spend the money on? And whoever the people spend their money on, they're the ones who will be the richest people a year later. After the communist revolution comes through and distributes everybody's wealth evenly, a year afterwards, the people who make the best products will be the richest people in the world. That is, unless the communism also forces all the companies to not do their thing, which is what happened in real world. In the real world, communism became a little too restrictive. I actually think there's two issues. One is the centralized control of the economy, which is probably a bad idea. The other thing is the redistribution of wealth, which is probably a fine idea. Although the two things get conflated. Oh, that's fine, Cody. I should probably stop streaming too. I was just gonna say, I've been doing this for about 2.5 hours, and I should probably stop streaming here. And if your family's there, maybe you should hang out with your family too. Alright, let me just put a few more blocks down, and then I'll stop recording for YouTube's. She's being anxious about Christmas, you say. Well, you know, it is Christmas time. You know what, I'm gonna end it here, Cody. Merry Christmas. The Christmas tree was pretty good fun. And see you around. You say you'll likely join for Heroes of the Storm, but I may be drinking a 10 at a time. That's fine. That's fine. Alright, I'm gonna end the video here. I might actually pave the rest of the iron and the gold blocks in my own time, so that when we come back next week, we go straight to wiring this thing up. Alright, I'm gonna end the video here.